Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News. Top 1. Today we are checking out a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now, the 1967 Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, it looks like every dime you've seen. Same size, same design, same Roosevelt profile. But don't let that fool you. This little coin has a story that can surprise even the most casual collectors. Before we dig in, think about this. What if that dime you dropped into the vending machine last week could actually be worth more than $1? By the end of this video, you're going to know why some of these coins are highly sought after, what rare errors to look for, and how much they can fetch in auctions. Take a close look at it. On the front, there's Franklin D. Roosevelt, calm and dignified. Flip it over, and there's the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. But the magic isn't in the design, it's in the details, in the subtle differences that make collectors lean in for a second look. Here's the big thing, 1967 was a silver dime year, meaning these coins were made of 40% silver. That's a big deal because it makes them instantly more valuable than the face value. But it gets better. Some of these dimes have minting errors, tiny quirks in the metal that make them rare and highly collectible. We're talking double dies, repunched mint marks, even small die cracks. Spotting one of these can turn a dime from a few cents into a serious collector's item, and here's where it gets really interesting. In 1967, the United States was going through a period of change in its coinage system. Silver was becoming scarce, and coins like these were quietly slipping into everyday use. That means there are plenty of dimes out there, but only a few with those rare, eye-catching errors. A fun detail you might not know, the mint mark tells you where it was made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. And sometimes, the mint marks themselves hold surprises. Slightly off-center, slightly doubled, or even filled in from a misstrike, these tiny imperfections can add hundreds of dollars to the value if the coin is in great condition. So, do you have a 1967 dime in your collection? Or maybe one that's been sitting in a drawer for years? Take it out, inspect it, and see if there's anything unusual. You might be holding a slice of history that's also worth real money. Market-wise, a regular 1967 silver dime is worth around $2 to $4 just for its silver. But those rare error coins? Some have sold at auction for $100, $200, even more depending on the type of error and how well preserved it is. That's pretty impressive for a coin you probably thought was just another dime. Which coin in your collection would you love to find a hidden gem in? Drop a comment, I'd love to hear your stories. Top 2, today we are uncovering a coin that might be hiding in your pocket or sitting forgotten in a jar, the 1974 D. Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, it seems ordinary, the same size and design as every dime in circulation. But stick around, because this little coin has some surprises that could make it worth far more than just 10 cents. Imagine this, a dime you see every day could actually be a rare collectible worth hundreds if it has the right characteristics. By the end of this video you'll know what to look for, why collectors hunt for it, and what it could fetch at auction if you're lucky enough to find a special one. Let's take a close look. On the front, we have Franklin D. Roosevelt, sharp and confident. Flip it over, and there's the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, classic symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. But the real story isn't in the design, it's in the small details, the tiny variations that can make this dime a gem. The 1974 D dime is a copper-nickel coin, and unlike the older silver dimes, it's made entirely for circulation. That means millions were produced, but among them, a few stand out. Some carry errors from the minting process, double dies, repunched mint marks, or slight misalignments. Spotting one of these errors could turn a regular dime into a sought-after collectible. Here's a little history to give it context. In 1974, the United States Mint was producing coins for an economy that was booming, but inflation was starting to bite. Dimes like these were part of everyday life, and millions passed from hand to hand without anyone realizing their potential value. A fun detail collectors love is checking the mint mark. The D tells you it came from Denver, and some of these coins show subtle differences that make them more interesting. Sometimes the letters are faint, or slightly doubled, or even misaligned. These small quirks can add value if the coin is in good condition. Do you have one tucked away in your drawer or wallet right now? Take a closer look, because even minor imperfections can make a difference. Regular 1974 D dimes are worth a few cents above face value, mainly to collectors who want a complete set. But rare errors? Those have sold at auction for $50, $100, sometimes more, depending on the type of error and how well preserved the coin is. Which coin in your collection do you wish was hiding a secret value? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing stories from fellow collectors. To recap, the 1974 D Roosevelt Dime isn't just a piece of metal. It's a coin that tells a story about the economy, the minting process, and a slice of everyday American life. Top 3. Today we are taking a closer look at a coin you might have seen 100 times without realizing its story, the 1980 P. Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, it's just another dime, the same small silver-colored coin that passes from hand to hand every day. But stick around, because there are hidden details that could make this coin more interesting than you think. Imagine this: a coin you've used for groceries or tossed into a vending machine could actually be worth more than its face value. By the end of this video, you'll know what makes the 1980 P dime collectible, how to spot rare minting quirks, and what it could fetch if it shows up at auction. Take a close look. On the front, we see Franklin D. Roosevelt, calm, composed, and instantly recognizable. Flip it over, and there's the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, classic symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The design has been around for decades, but each coin tells a little story of the year it was made. The 1980 P dime was produced in Philadelphia, and like most dimes from this period, it's made of copper nickel. That means it doesn't carry the silver value of older dimes, but it still has collector interest. Why? Because among the millions minted, a few have errors, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or slight misalignments. Those tiny mistakes can turn an ordinary dime into a collectible piece worth far more than 10 cents. Here's some history to give it context. In 1980, the United States was going through economic changes, inflation was creeping up, interest rates were high, and coins like this were part of everyday life, quietly moving from pocket to pocket. That makes the dime not just money, but a small snapshot of American life in the early 80s. Collectors love to check the mint mark closely. The P for Philadelphia is sometimes faint, slightly doubled, or misaligned. These subtle differences are what make the coin collectible. Even a tiny die crack or uneven edge can increase its value if the coin is in good condition. So, do you have a 1980 P dime in your wallet or coin jar right now? Take it out, inspect it carefully, and see if it has any unusual markings. Regular 1980 P dimes are worth about 10 to 25 cents to collectors, mainly if they're in uncirculated condition. But the rare error coins? Some have sold at auction for $50, $75, even more depending on the type of minting error. That's not bad for a coin you probably thought was just another dime. Which coin in your collection do you wish had a hidden gem like this? Share it in the comments. I love hearing about rare finds and interesting coins. Top 4. Today we are diving into a coin that most people overlook, the 1989 P. Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, it looks just like the dimes we use every day, the same small silver-colored coin with Roosevelt's familiar face. But if you think this is just another dime, you might want to think again. There are details here that could make this tiny coin surprisingly interesting. Imagine this: a coin you've held in your hand 100 times could actually be worth more than its face value. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know what makes the 1989 P dime collectible, which rare minting quirks to look for, and how much it could fetch at auction if you find the right one. Take a look at it closely. On the front, we see Franklin D. Roosevelt, composed and dignified. Flip it over, and there's the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The design is classic, but what makes this coin interesting isn't just the design, it's the details that most people miss. The 1989 P dime was minted in Philadelphia and, like most coins from this era, it's made of copper nickel. That means it doesn't carry silver value, but collectors still pay attention. Why? Because a few of these dimes have minting errors, double dies, repunched mint marks, or tiny misalignments. Spotting one of these errors can turn an ordinary dime into a collectible worth more than you'd expect. Here's some context. In 1989, the US economy was going through changes, and coins like this were part of everyday life. Millions of them passed from hand to hand, and while most stayed ordinary, a few had subtle quirks that make them special today. Collectors love checking the mint mark, and this one is a P for Philadelphia. Sometimes it can be faint, slightly doubled, or off-center. Those small variations are exactly what makes certain coins desirable. Even minor die cracks or raised lines on the edge can increase the value if the coin is in good condition. So, do you have a 1989 P dime hiding in a drawer or jar? Take it out and look closely. You might spot something unusual. Standard 1989 P dimes are worth just above face value, about 10 to 25 cents, but rare error coins have sold at auction for $50, $75, and sometimes more depending on the type of error and its condition. That's a pretty big jump from a regular dime. Which coin in your collection do you hope might be hiding a secret value? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing about unusual finds and collector stories. Top 5. Today we are uncovering a coin that most people see every day but rarely give a second thought to, the 1999 P. Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, it's just another dime in your pocket, the same small silver-colored coin with Roosevelt's profile. But don't scroll past just yet, because this coin has details that could make it more valuable than you think. Picture this: a coin you've probably spent at a coffee shop or a vending machine could actually be worth more than 10 cents. By the end of this video, you'll know why collectors keep an eye out for this particular dime, what rare minting quirks to look for, and how much it could fetch at auction if you're lucky enough to find a special one. Take a closer look. On the front, Franklin D. Roosevelt looks calm and confident, just like always. Turn it over, and you see the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, classic symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The design itself is familiar, but the story is in the details, in the tiny variations that most people never notice. The 1999 P dime was minted in Philadelphia, and like most modern dimes, it's made of copper nickel. That means it doesn't carry the silver value of older dimes, but it still has collector interest. Why? Because a small number of these coins have minting errors, things like double dies, repunched mint marks, or subtle misalignments. Spotting one of these can turn a dime from ordinary to collectible in a matter of seconds. Here's some context. In 1999, the United States was at the end of the millennium, a time of big changes in technology, the economy, and even coin production. Millions of these dimes went into circulation, but only a few carry the quirks that make collectors take notice. Collectors pay close attention to the mint mark. The P for Philadelphia is usually clear, but sometimes it's faint, slightly doubled, or misaligned. Even small die cracks or raised lines along the edge can increase the coin's value if it's in good condition. These tiny details are what make coin collecting exciting. You never know what's hiding in your pocket. Change. Do you have a 1999 P dime lying around? Take it out and inspect it carefully. Standard 1999 P dimes are worth just above face value, maybe 10 to 25 cents, but rare error coins have been known to sell at auction for $50, $75, and sometimes even more, depending on the error and condition. That's quite a leap from a regular dime. Which coin in your collection do you hope might be hiding a secret value? Leave a comment. I love hearing stories from fellow collectors and discovering hidden gems. To wrap it up, the 1999 P. Roosevelt Dime isn't just another coin. It's a piece of history, a collectible for enthusiasts, and potentially a hidden treasure if you spot a rare minting error. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment with your finds or thoughts, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and check out our other videos where we reveal coins that could be worth more than you think.